Hey everyone, welcome back. Thank you so much, as always, for joining us. Fantasy and you here. Yes, if you're starting to get used to the Wednesday shows, even if they're short shows, by all means, please get in the habit of expecting a midweek show because, as I mentioned last week, sometimes news pops up during the week and we're like, damn, I don't want to have to wait until the following Sunday to start talking about it. So that's exactly what these Wednesday shows have become. This is Miguel Antonio Barragan, aka Fight Feed Migs, joined as always by my co-host Andrew. Don't get it twisted, Lapachet, or maybe we should update that to Head Ass because he threw that in there a couple of weekends ago. But joined as always by my homie Andrew Lapachet. This is the Mad Boxing Show, or Mad Boxing for short. Thank you once more for joining us. If I look like I have a slight tan, I did go to Rosarito, Baja California this weekend. For those of you who don't know, me and my family go down there regularly to Tijuana there because we actually have a dentist down there. So my mom is like, I need my teeth cleaned. Who's going to take me? So I was like, fuck it. Let's go ahead and take a quick weekend trip to Rosarito, which is one of the reasons why our schedule was a little off this weekend. But I did get a little bit of a burn. I got like my shoulders a little bit peeling a little bit. That tends to happen when you're out in the sun too long and you kind of take it for granted. You're not like, oh, I'll put a little bit of sunblock here and there. Nothing major. But if I do look a little bit more tan, it's because I got a little color this weekend in Rosarito. So don't be jealous. I'm sure you will have your opportunity to do so. Well, this weekend wasn't the best for us. I mean, like, wasn't chock full of fights. There was a few fights. Nothing major, nothing crazy. Unfortunately, Andrew wasn't able to catch all the fights, so I'm going to kind of run through them here real quick because some stuff happened. We definitely want to make sure that we cover it because some funny stuff that happened this weekend, and everybody from Teddy Ellis to anyone else is talking about the goofiness of the Chicago Athletic Commission. But we're going to be talking about that, of course, or at least I'll be talking about it. We're going to be talking about a few things here, of course, more so news outside of the ring, in particular when Ryan Garcia and his public spat that he continues with, Oscar De La Hoya, and we're going to be talking about that in particular because I don't know, something's up with this kid. We throw Oscar under the bus quite often because of how he is, but sometimes it's not Oscar, sometimes it's the fighter, right? And that's kind of what it looks like this particular time. We're going to be talking about that. We're going to talk about one Vergil Ortiz and Xander Zayas kind of going at it through social media, and couple of possible fight announcements, as a matter of fact, including Vergil Ortiz. So we're definitely going to be talking about that. And unfortunately, August is kind of a slow month for fights. There's a few fights scattered throughout the month. We were supposed to have one Gervonta Tank Davis and Lamont Roach sometime in the middle of this month. Doesn't look like that's happening. So unfortunately, August is a bit of a slow month when it comes to fights. But no problem. We still got plenty of news because by and large, there's always some sort of news outside of the ring, right? So we're definitely going to talk about that. So that being said, let me get into this here. So for those of you who will watch this weekend Golden Boy card on DAZN, the fights were fun. I'm not going to say they weren't. They were pretty fun. But during the broadcast, Oscar De La Hoya was interviewed, and I believe it was Chris Mannix who was interviewing him, and he was like, yeah, it's been a while since you guys have been here, right? Like, regarding boxing, really. And Oscar is like, yeah, it's been about 15 years since the last time we were here. Well, I think I can see why. For those of you who didn't watch it, during the co-main event with Regis Prograis and Jojo Diaz, there was a part where Jojo had a pretty solid cut over, I think it was left eye. So the doctor goes in to put the fingers up, like, how many am I holding? And he holds up like one, and Jojo's like two. And he just keeps going. He's just like, all right, cool. That pass, sure. Go. Continue fighting. So weird shit like that. During one of the rounds, for some reason, it was cut short to 2 minutes instead of 3. I don't know what the hell the timekeeper was looking at, but when it's this many years since a fight has been taken or had taken place in Chicago, and we see stuff like this happen, we kind of understand why. Maybe people don't like to go to these fucking fights, promoters, fighters, when stuff like this happens. Rounds are cut short. The main event was a little, the decision on that one, which I'll get to here momentarily. But yeah, so Regis Prograis defeated Jojo Diaz, and I gotta be honest, I was a little I was a little surprised about this fight because I was like, this is not on my schedule. Like I look through the calendar, right? I see the fights, and I'm like, damn, I was expecting more promotion at least. I knew Oscar Duarte was fighting this weekend against Sims Jr. And I was like, all right, cool. Well, let's move the fights. I didn't even know Jojo Diaz and Regis Prograis was the co-main event. I don't know who dropped the ball there, but I would have liked to have a little bit of notice because that fight turned out to be pretty solid. I personally had Jojo Diaz winning, actually. He did hurt Regis quite a bit. I don't know what's going on with Regis' legs. He's maybe it's just the age. He seems to be, I mean, not that he was ever not flat-footed, but he's even more flat-footed now. It seems as though his legs are just gone. Like, his ability to take a punch. As a matter of fact, I think these guys fought at 147 pounds or welterweight, which is way big for Jojo Diaz, but he took the fight. And I ultimately, Regis Prograis ended up coming away with the decision. I believe it was a unanimous decision. One scorecard was a little wider than the other. The other one was a little bit more closer. That one I'm okay with. I personally think Jojo actually got the nod. He came pretty close a few times to stopping Regis, and I don't think Regis ever came that close to stopping Jojo. But in the all-important rounds department, as Letterman would say, Harold Letterman, he'd say, in the all-important points department, Regis actually got more rounds. So, they went ahead and gave it to Regis. I'm on the fence about it because I think Jojo won, but hey, this is the same Regis who said he was going to retire after his fight with, I think it was Haney, saying like, yeah, let these young guns take over. It's my time is done. And here he is fighting at fucking welterweight. Maybe he sets himself up to be a pretty solid opponent for a champion, maybe, but he looked bad. I mean, Jojo is not the kind of guy who will knock anybody out at 147, and he had Regis, flopping back and forth all over the fucking place. So again, maybe it was a part of Regis's legs that he just doesn't have it anymore. He's 30-something years old at this point, but unfortunately for Jojo, he's on the shitty end of yet another decision, and he's been on the shitty end of a few decisions himself already, right? So this is yet another one. Great win for Regis, at least. This is not it's one of those like pro wrestling loser leaves town type of fucking fights, but Andrew, as far as Regis goes, he did get the victory. It was a unanimous decision at welterweight now. Do you think he kind of, with the win over Jojo, or in the way he did it, I guess, maybe put himself in a position to be maybe an opponent for somebody like, I mean, obviously not Haney, but like for somebody like Ryan, or for somebody like, I don't know, anybody else for that matter, 147, Rolly Romero, something like that?
Yeah, of course. I would like him more to see him go up against an up-and-comer before giving him another title shot, make him earn it. Taking Jojo Diaz 2 divisions up is not earning your shot at title at 140, in my opinion, right? I know how boxing works. When you look at the highlights that were coming over social media, sure did look like Jojo Diaz won this fight. I mean, every single highlight for the first, hour that this thing went off was all Diaz. And all of a sudden the decision comes out and it's Regis holding up his hands. So what I seen was Jojo just didn't do enough in between him hurting Regis Prograis, right? And when you have a fight that's 10-9 all the way across, right? No one's getting dropped. You got to win the majority of the rounds. And that's where maybe Jojo fell off or didn't do enough of. He just had those reminiscent to when Hopkins fought Taylor, right? You remember Hopkins had some badass moments in that fight, yet the whole 12 rounds, it was Taylor who had won more of the rounds. But when Hopkins hurt him, he really hurt him. That's kind of what happened on Saturday. The big story is, has that commissioner been fired today?
Yeah. Haven't heard anything yet.
That's the worst medical attention I think that's ever been caught in the sports on camera. You can put that up there at number 1. I watched that one. I'm not going to say live, but I watched that one. How did I see it? I seen that part. Miguel, I was fucking like, bro, am I blind? That's one finger. He's saying, dude, I hella thought like the camera was fucking with me, and there's a finger behind that finger, and I just can't see it. It wasn't until I think I did see the highlight where I'm like, you've seen other people talking about it. And it's like, wait, that is one fucking. How did he get away with that? How is it today we haven't already been heard that this man has been let go of all responsibilities that include anything to do with boxing? If this was the NFL, it'd be a fucking big time discussion on the radio today. If you ever seen a doctor do that, the guy has a concussion. He's like, how many fingers? How many? All right, he's good. Put him back in. Oh, bro, they're going to eat that man alive.
He's got like a concussion. He's like smacking him on the fucking helmet. Like, all right, you okay? You okay? All right, go back in there. You're good.
Well, what were they giving him? Sniffing?
Yeah, salt.
Sniffing salt. Wake him up. But no, bro. It was bad. I mean, you're talking. Look, that man could have been blind. That man could have had some shit. Maybe JoJo was crying to get out of the fucking fight. Like, dude, I'm not even giving you the right answers. You should have said 3. You should have just threw a 3 in there. Fucking just see what happened.
He had to be. It should have been obvious. Like, obviously, there's 5 digits, right? It's like 6. Like, I only have 5 on one hand, homie. No, that's a 6. I can see it from here.
Yeah. No, that was a bad look for that commissioner. That is a really embarrassing look for him today. So, as far as the fight, look, it was a great fight. Me personally don't want to see either man continue on. But because one won, you know he will. And with that being said, I would like him to go up against more like an up-and-comer than an actual belt. I don't think Prograis is that guy anymore to be fighting for championship belts. Now, maybe if he earns it, then yeah, there's nothing you can say about it. When you say his feet are getting bad, I would aim a little bit higher, man. That's a brain thing I believe is going on there. I don't know. He's just a little bit too loose on the legs now. Gets touched, wiggles, you know. And that was really never him before. I don't remember Prograis being that vulnerable in the ring. When you talk of the wear and tear, you're talking about the head damage, you know. It could be time. Hey, we're seeing something happening in front of our eyes, you know. Like I said, the highlights clearly showed like JoJo was going to win this fight by knockout. That's how bad some of those beatings were that he was dishing out on him. Give Prograis props for staying up, but it might be that heart that got him in the position that he's currently in, right?
Yeah, that's a real possibility. It's just, I figured, I mean, yeah, you know, mind you, this is at 147. These guys are welterweights according to this. So JoJo doesn't have pop exactly at 130, 135, 140 when he was there. You know, he had some power, but enough to hurt somebody like the way he did against Regis. Either JoJo has a lot more power than we thought, or maybe Regis' chin is just not there anymore. And chances are it's probably the latter. It just looked like Regis' legs were stiff as fuck. So that's what I figured. That's what it was. I thought, you know, it doesn't have the spring in his legs anymore at his age. I figured that's what it was. But no, that makes a lot of sense. It's the shots. It's just the shots he can't take anymore. In regards to that doctor, and we'll talk about it during the main event. But on the 4th round of the main event, same shit. The timekeeper cut the round a minute for some reason. It ended up being 2 minutes. So, you know, when we hear about fights in Chicago, it's getting to the point now where we're thinking about Texas. You know, when Texas drops the ball with shit, you're like, oh, they're gonna have a fight in Texas. Well, no, you know, already we're thinking there's this preconceived notion of how their athletic commissions run, and when we see stuff like this happen, you know, when maybe we're dropping the ball one time, but a few times during the course of a card, seems like you don't want to go back to that. But
Chicago is a joke overall. This is just a reflection.
Yeah, really? Shit.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, like, joke as far as like sports wise, or what exactly?
Sports wise, politically, it went bankrupt not too long ago.
Oh, no kidding. Fuck.
Oh yeah, no, like they had to straight get cash from other places to try to even keep their shit going.
Oh,
it's a
man.
joke. Yeah, they're a joke. So this is just a reflection of the people that are running that place.
Oh shit. Yeah.
That commissioner. How many fingers?
Yeah. No, I legit thought the same thing too. Like I thought I'm on camera here. I thought he did one of these things, right? And I was like, hold up, is there another finger that I can't see from my ankle or
I'm
something?
telling you,
And
bro.
then I think Chris Mannix mentioned there in our Todd Grisham, I think he said it or somebody said it, and they're like, "Are my eyes deceiving me? Was that not one finger?" And they just went.
What I don't understand is why didn't someone step in? If they did see it, why didn't they send another commissioner over there and go, look, stop the fucking fight? This guy just answered the wrong answer 3 times in a row.
Yeah.
That's weird. I'm going to be honest with you. I think HBO would have stepped in. You remember Larry Merchant and Lampley and them? They'd be real vocal at the ringside sometimes. I think that you might hear them in between rounds go, hey, send Max over there. I want to answer on why he fucking didn't see that guy. We clearly have him on camera. Hey, who's the guy on Showtime? Gray? Jim Gray?
Oh, Jim Gray. Yeah.
Jim Gray would have interviewed the guy after. Here it is. Explain to us what's going on here.
Yeah.
What is that? That's one finger, right? Like, saying two.
Did you forget you were holding one finger? It was actually one.
Jim Gray's funny. He's good at that. But no, I think they would have called him out. Kind of, not going to say shame on DAZN, but you guys missed one there. You missed one there. You're supposed to look out for the safety of the fighter, and you clearly caught on camera that the safety of the fighter might be in jeopardy. He's blind. He can't see. Nah, fuck you guys.
Yeah. Nobody like about to get up. Like anybody gonna nope, nah.
Well, swing harder.
Yeah. Open your eyes.
Hey, hit the one in the middle. They're doing the mix.
Yeah, the Rocky thing.
Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah, that was mighty strange. So I don't know what we can do about JoJo at this point. Fighting at welterweight when he doesn't belong there. Yeah, granted, he almost pulled out the decision or the victory. I mean, the KO victory. If he was able to stop Regis, he wasn't able to. He wasn't able to get the job done or at least seal the deal. So. Yet another loss on JoJo's record. Yeah, I definitely agree with you there. I don't think we want to see these guys back in the ring, and against anybody else. Either even a stepping stone as up for up and comer, because really they can get hurt pretty bad. Obviously with JoJo Diaz's scar tissue that he has, and yeah, granted it was a headbutt that ultimately caused it, but. I think he's been cut so many times that it's one of those Gabe Rosado things. Anything would just fucking cut him open. And unfortunately, he's at that point in his career now that he probably should consider calling it a career. And
let's be honest, Miguel. The reason why Prograis was in the fight was because JoJo was acting like a punching bag too. I mean, he wasn't showing a lot of defense that night either. He was taking a lot of punches. It was just that Prograis throws a different speed, right? He doesn't. I know he has power, but he throws a lot more combination speed touches on his shots, where JoJo was, getting get that quick moment to try to get the knockout and would do all power. So I do, you got to say that he was taking a lot of punishment that night too. The defense just wasn't good for him. He just could take a better shot than Prograis could.
Yeah, I don't know. Every time these guys step in the ring, I swear the announcers are always like, "This is a crossroads fight. This is a crossroads fight." And then here we are again, them again in the ring. It's like, all right, this is a crossroads fight, yo. Like this is kind of one of those things where you don't win, you're kind of out. You should call it a career. But Regis has won immunity or something because he's came away with a victory on this one and a unanimous decision on top of that. So I don't know. I was texting with my buddy. My buddy's like, "Dude, JoJo got robbed." I'm like, damn it, don't tell me. I'm about to watch it. But ultimately, that was a good fight and over. I mean, it was fun. It was entertaining. It was more of a slugfest, but it was fun, right? It definitely got the Chicago crowd or the Illinois crowd up and roaring, on the edges of their seats, which led us to the main event. Oscar Duarte taking on Sims Jr. here. Now, this is another one. Majority decision. That means one judge had it a draw. Damn, I didn't think it was that close. I mean, yeah, Sims had his moments, right? It wasn't like he didn't, but I didn't think it was that close. I thought, Oscar pretty much had it. He was landing some fucking hellacious shots on him, by the way. And Duarte's kind of like I don't know, maybe like a less volume Pitbull, a less volume Cepeda. He comes forward, he throws maybe a little bit more methodical, but it just looked like, even he would punch through Sims' defense. Like Sims would bring his arms up, and he would just Duarte would punch through the gloves. So I thought Duarte was going to take him out of there. That's what it looked. I was like, oh shit, he's going to finish the motherfucker. He didn't. He went the distance, and he came away with a majority decision. I don't know. That's not what I saw from the highlights.
Was Sims from Chicago?
Yes.
Yeah, it could be a little hometown cooking there, bro.
Yes, as you think it was. Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. That's most likely what ended up happening. I don't know. I guess because if one, I don't know, one judge. Let me see here. So two. Well, yeah, no, I guess that would have been. It would have been like. It would probably still would have been a split decision, I guess. But regardless, he went ahead and got himself a victory. What's his name? Duarte. So I don't know. I don't know if that puts him in the spot necessarily. He's at 140. This is where this fight took place, at 140. I don't know if that necessarily puts him in a position to be, maybe get himself a title shot or some sort of up there elite fighters. 140, 147, that area is pretty packed right now, right? There's a lot of names. One of the other champions, of course, Teofimo at 140, and then Hitchins, Richardson Hitchins, also a belt holder at 140. So the weight class is pretty stacked. He has the chance to put himself, with his victory, he put himself in a good position to maybe fight any one of those guys. Whether or not he'll get the opportunity to is in the story, of course, but it seems like him being with Golden Boy, him being on DAZN, those fights will probably have much easier time being made. But from the highlights that you saw, Andrew, did it look that close? Like, did that fight look close to where like one of the judges had it a fucking draw?
No, I didn't see enough of that to call it if it was a draw or not. One thing that I got to say for all these 140 pounders, though, is that with the new platform streaming apps needing a lot more content, we've seen fights by DAZN being put on in Australia with Parlo, right? Is that the young man's name out there in Australia? Paro. And then we have over in Puerto Rico, Matias, right? And we got Hitchins. These are three unknown fighters that are right there at the brink of breaking into the big money. You could see any of those guys taking on a Duarte or a Regis Prograis in their respected home countries, right? Prograis went to Puerto Rico to fight Matias. I think that's a great fight for Matias. If he went over to Australia, I think it's a great fight for Paro over there in Australia. You get what I'm saying? With there being so much more content out there because of DAZN and Riyadh season looking for all these international fighters, it does give a little bit more avenues for these guys. Look, Duarte had his moment with Ryan Garcia, and he dropped the ball big time because we seen Rolly Romero pick up the ball and fucking run all the way with it. And I thought Rolly Romero sucked. So what's that say for Duarte? I don't know. Maybe it was just an off night, but he had his moment in the sun. You know what I mean? It didn't shine at all. So do I want to see him with Devin Haney right off the top or someone like that, Teofimo Lopez? No. If it happens, it happens. I won't get mad about it, but I don't think he deserves it right off the top over this win this weekend over Sims. But if he was to travel out, like I said, and take on some of those guys on their own home country, I think those are good fights. So you got more avenues than just Lopez or Haney. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Speaking of that Ryan Garcia fight, this is the one where Ryan Garcia came in at 143. I believe they ended up coming to some sort of agreement where Duarte himself came in at 142. So I don't know if the weight had anything to do with it, but he definitely had his chance at putting his name out there and let it slip through his fingers.
And I absolutely agree with that, Miguel, but I also got to remind the fighters, this is why you don't cave into that bullshit. I'm sorry. Devin Haney took a loss the same way. They call him a bitch nowadays, right? Yeah. Duarte's got to see that too. And all the young guys out there, 3 pounds is 3 pounds, man. Maybe you should freaking, not take the fight, not run for the money. Duarte's in a lot better spot right now. If it wasn't for the Garcia loss, right? He'd be in a better spot today if he would have just not taken one fight. So, because I don't think he got Sims because of Garcia's loss. I'll tell you that. So when you guys are faced with that decision on going up against a cheat, unprofessional fighter, because maybe sometimes it might not be flat out cheating, even though I honestly believe that's what Ryan does. Even in just not being professional, you pass. You got to pass, man.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, to try to put yourself in their shoes. They're by the time they're done with training camp or something, they're already in debt, right? They're already in the red.
I hear all that, bro.
It's hard to pass up an opportunity when they've already put in all the work. They are willing. I mean, they're already stepping in the ring in a combat sport, which is dangerous as it is. They're like, fuck it, I'm already here. I'm already here, obviously risking my neck. Might as well go out of here and get this fucking money, even at the risk of potentially getting hurt or looked at as a bitch the way people look at Haney now. But it seems like which one wins? You know, it's like, well, my career could potentially be longer if I don't take this fight, I don't take this ass whooping, or, you know, I don't get any money for the next however long.
I believe he still would have gotten some money because he missed the weight at the scale. So that's, you know, you listen, Miguel, the losses are big in this sport, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So you can be broke for a few more months, or you can now be talked about as the guy who had his shot and don't want to see him have another one. That's the thin line we're playing here, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, sorry to Duarte for not remembering that Ryan cheated you with the 3 pounds, but unfortunately, it is what it is. You still took a defeat. You didn't show up. I didn't even see anything that special that night, to be honest with you. That made me go like, oh, this Duarte guy, hot. That's why I didn't see him against Sims. I bet you if it was Canelo, that shit would have been on, Miguel.
Yeah, on your phone, just like, here you go.
Hey, if there's a will, there's a way, bro.
Yeah, no, it's understandable. Trust me, I've done that shit myself. I sometimes, you know, I go to these websites, right, where I watch some fights that I don't pay for, and I do it at the risk of my laptop. There's times where I'm out and about, and I'm like, do I want to risk my phone? I don't want to catching something on my fucking phone. It's like, there we go, you know, pop it in there. So trust me, when times are rough, you're like, you know what, fuck this. I can always pay my insurance deductible and get another phone if I catch something on this bitch. Has happened before. So.
Oh yeah, I better watch out for that. I didn't even know about that one. They can trap your phone too, huh?
Well, I mean, they can like any sort of, you know, these websites, they can have some sort of virus or something that'll fuck up your fucking thing.
It's on my work phone. Hey, my company's all. Why do we keep getting fucking getting these emails that we're getting fucking spammed? My bad.
Right. It's like, oh yeah, this ad came in for DraftKings. What is this about, Andrew?
Hey, you know what? True story. All right, I got a true one. This is gonna make some of the listeners laugh because I know they're coworkers. That happened to us, bro.
Oh,
so we were doing some all-nighters in a very high classified place, right? All high tech. You know where I live, Bay Area. And we had some guys that were doing some all-nighters, like 12-hour shifts. We had to monitor shit 24 hours a day. And some of the guys would get bored during the night, so they were going, or it would be, you know, the NBA Finals was on, the fucking boxing was on, something was on, so they started going to illegal websites on their own stuff. But because they were in that building, I guess they still got fucking buzzed, man. Hey, we got a leak. There's a leak in the building. Fucking got fired, canned.
Yeesh.
That's how high tech it was, bro. Like, no, you cannot do that.
this is where they bring in, you know, Jim Gray again with the mic. It's like, so what is this FanDuel website that you've been checking out? Like,
it was a VIP, dude. That first row, the VIP first row, bro. I know some of the guys were using that to watch the NBA Finals and shit while they were in that building. Fucking got flagged. Yeah, that true story. That happened.
Hope it was worth it. If you guys are listening.
We were all telling them it was porn. We were like, you guys are watching porn. They're like, it was not porn.
It's like, porn. It's like, what is this title? MILF Babes 3. Like, yeah, it's not porn, huh? Yeah. So I used to do that shit with my work computer when we used to have a different work computer. We have Amazon computers now, and there's security's off the fucking hook, so it doesn't work anymore. But on the rare occasion that I'd have to work a Saturday morning in the office, I was pulling up, the front row sports or whatever the fuck to catch, I don't know, Vladimir Klitschko early in the morning on HBO or some shit over there. So trust me, as I've done it before. Oh, you know what? I want to bring something up. This kind of it's a sort of one of the other topics I want to talk about. But have you noticed that August is a super slow month for like fights? There's like no fucking fights, dude. Yeah, there's I looked because I pulled it up here on ESPN. That was one of my other topics. Oh, I'm over here jumping. I'm doing what you're doing. I'm jumping all over the fucking gun. Was there anything else we wanted to talk about before we seal the discussion on Sims and Duarte, or even Jojo Diaz and Regis?
No. Hey, how about this? How about Duarte versus Regis?
Well, we just said we don't want to see these guys back in the ring, and we're already throwing them at.
But he wins. He wins, so he fights, Miguel. He won. If he lost, then I wouldn't talk about it. But because he won, we know he's going to get another check. So life goes on, bro. But no, for Duarte, it's a decent fight. Ex-champ, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, especially if he can finish him. Right? Retire him. Sad to talk like that. Sorry, Regis, but you know what I mean.
Hey, it's the name of the beast. I mean, the nature of the beast, yo. That's how lions have to go out. There you go. Even if, I don't think Regis would take it any other way. Be like, no, fuck this. If I'm going to stop, it's because you're going to fucking take me out. Like, it has to be that way.
Yeah. So no, that's a decent. Now, is Duarte from Chicago?
No. Duarte is a Mexican boxer. He's from Mexico.
So he doesn't live here.
Chihuahua or something. I don't know where he lives. That part I'm not entirely sure. But he's definitely not an American fighter. He's a Mexican boxer. I'm just not sure where his camp is or where he lives.
Okay. I would say if it's in Chicago, then they just take him right back. It sounded like both were maybe living there. I didn't know. It just sounded like they were both living there. That's why I was like, and I know, who was it? Vargas fought in Chicago one time, and they said something like it was the second biggest Mexican population in America, which this was Vargas in the 90s, but I was still kind of thrown off, like, damn, Chicago, you know what I mean? I didn't know that. Yeah. But if he was out there, yeah, just take Duarte. I know Oscar's trying to build him. I don't know if just Oscar is getting a little low on fighters, but it seemed like he was really overhyping Duarte this week.
Yeah.
I heard the face of boxing. I was like, what the fuck? I'm not watching that. I'm just kidding. Just kidding.
Like, if I don't recognize the face or recognize the name right off the bat, Oscar, I'm not going to fucking listen to your overhyping this motherfucker.
The face of boxing. I was like, wow.
Yeah, at this point, I think he just says anything just to promote any fucking fight. He will promote a fucking ant if need be, because that's just his job at this point. So, as a matter of fact, I want to say, during the broadcast, during the interview, he was asked about a possible rematch between Ryan Garcia and Rolly Romero, right, from their New York fight, and he was like, "No, I'm not interested in that at all." It's like, at first, nobody that first fight was like, pretty boring. I would much rather see Ryan with somebody else, yada yada, which we'll talk about in a few moments here. But yeah, I was going through because I like to maybe give people like a heads up on what fights are coming up. Dude, the 16th, we have Nick Ball and Sam Goodman, which is going to be pretty decent. That's going to be like the zone from Saudi Arabia. So that's going to be, I think, early in the morning. Raymond Ford is on there as well. But it's like, God, we're not going to get shit. And there are some other ones if you're, hardcore fan and you don't have anything else to do on a Saturday morning. Some of these are from fucking, Saudi Arabia. But we don't really have a lot of fights in August. Again, as I mentioned, we were going to have Gervonta Davis and Lamont Roach, the rematch, and obviously that's the fight's not happening now. So August is pretty dead. We don't have really anything. I'm scrolling through the ESPN website right now, like worth watching, worth talking about until. Oh, don't tell me until Canelo. No way. Until Canelo and Crawford. There are some other ones. Oh, and this is one of the other topics. Oscar Valdez will be back on I don't know what platform or what channel. But again, that's one of the other stories I don't want to talk about. But regardless, yeah, man, it's just weird. August is just a dead fucking month.
No, we got to remember, Miguel. What is Mr. Excellency doing over there in Riyadh? Putting together all these main event cards stacked on one.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of our dates, man. that May fight could have easily been 3 dates, right? Just the Garcia, Haney, and Lopez. Those easily could have been their own 3 cards. Back in the day, they would have been, right? But now we're seeing all 3 of them on the same. So I think that has a lot to do with why we're running out of fights here. Something we're gonna have to pay close attention to moving on in the future, right? Because we can't stack everything in the beginning of the year and not have anything left for the rest. As we get closer, Crawford and Canelo is somewhat becoming hot. I would say I'm starting to get a little bit more questions on that fight. So hopefully that'll pick up here and give us a real big fight at the end of the year here. But don't really see something to close out the year for boxing, right?
Right.
Ryan,
nothing has been announced yet.
Nothing has been announced. I mean, just looking at the landscape, Ryan maybe fighting Raleigh Romero again. That's not a blockbuster, you know. Devin Haney versus Norman Jr. It's not a blockbuster, you know. So it's kind of weird. The Yarde and fucking Benavidez totally not a blockbuster. You know, I thought Benavidez was above that. We'll talk about that later. I didn't really like that matchup for him though. But yeah, it just doesn't seem like we got anything to close the year out with. So hopefully Canelo and Crawford. Crawford's got a lot big shoes to fill. Yes, he does. I know what he's done in the smaller divisions, but he's got some big shoes. Did you happen to watch those episodes?
Oh no, I did. I saw the first one. The first one. I didn't catch all of them though.
Episode 8 came out, and I'll give you guys a preview. He's still competing with everything. What is he competing with in this one? It's like lightweight annoying, bro. It's like, will you stop with these? I feel sorry for Curtis Stevens. Is that the middleweight? Yeah, he's not smart.
Yeah,
he's not smart. One thing about having amateur cameramen put together this thing is they're not cutting out all of the dumb shit that these guys are saying. So I'll let you guys watch, and you guys can see it for yourselves. I don't want to ruin anything, but yeah, some of the things that these guys are talking about, you're not eye raising, bro. It's like,
oh man, it's like HBO would have edited this out. 24/7 would have.
Yeah, I think they totally would have stepped in and been like, "Okay, yeah, we're not doing the fucking 15th contest. Okay, we have 7 shows of you beating your guys at everything that you do: cooking, jumping, color of skin. It's like everything, bro. It's like fucking everything.
He's a one-upper. He has to be a one-upper.
Yeah, and it's getting real. It's like, Terrence, come on. Yeah. So episode 8 does not change. Still Terrence challenging everyone. You know, they don't get into the person. Remember 24/7 they used to talk to the guy. Get inside his head. Where is he from? What about his family? You know, just let the audience know who you are, attach to you, right? Connect. There you go. Connect. There is no connecting with Terrence on this. This is like someone with a phone and that's just filming these guys throughout the day, and they're thinking of some shit to do. Like there's no real guidance. You know what I mean? Where I think on a 24/7 show, they probably had a director and he would try to guide the show on what he wanted for the audience every week. Terrence is missing that. But check it out. It's I do it during my workout. Would I watch this thing just sitting down on the couch? Absolutely not. But when I'm on a treadmill and I need to burn 30, 40 minutes, it's like 20-something minutes, I think, every show. That's pretty fast. So that's my preview of the Crawford show number 8.
Wait to spoil it for me, because that's pretty much the only way I would watch it is if I sit down and watch it on the couch. I'm like, all right. I'm like, oh nope. Andrew said no, fuck this. I'm out of here.
Hey, Curtis, Steve. Oh man.
I'm gonna look it up now.
Man.
But in regards to social media, amateur cameraman, Ryan Garcia is back in the news again, ladies and gentlemen. For those of you who aren't online as often as myself or Andrew, apparently there was some sort of very heated conversation on the phone between Ryan Garcia and his promoter Oscar De La Hoya, and it got ugly. Basically, he's saying, "Hey, dude, don't fucking call me, and if you do call me, you better have some sort of $20 million deal or some bullshit." Basically, ultimately, the call ended with him trying to tell him to never call him again. So, let me go ahead and pull this off here. This is what I saw on, I believe it was Facebook. Ryan Garcia has one more fight left on his contract with Oscar and Golden Boy, and he intends to cut ties. This is what Ryan Garcia says. Oscar doesn't respect me. I don't think he ever thought I was a good fighter, but frankly, I don't care. I have one more fight left with him, and that's it. If they can build another star, great. I want to move on. Now, this is one thing that I've read of him. I've also read that he's trying to go to court to try to get out of his contract with Oscar. It seems contradicting that I figured he can have one more fight with Oscar and call it a day. Like, I don't get why he has to go to court and pay all this shit for that. It seems like he's trying to get out of the contract earlier than whatever that final fight is. That's my best guess. But Andrew, what do you think of this phone call? I mean, do you think Oscar was really on the other line of that, or was it just all show?
Absolutely was all show. He was leaving a voice message, it looked like. When I first seen him, Miguel, it looked like he's leaving a message back to Oscar De La Hoya. He also looks like he's back on drugs. Sad to say, but I don't like the lip biting. I didn't like how he was fidgety. What's up, dude? Ryan, did he not see that he was at a pool party? Who the fuck wears sweats and pants to a pool party, bro? Especially when you're Ryan Garcia, right? Like, you're somewhat a model half the time on your off time, right? So you should have. It was just really weird. I mean, he looked like the only one that was fully clothed, which kind of made me lean towards he was on drugs, right? He didn't even know how to be in the environment. You know what I mean? Because his head is spinning up top.
Could he be that he's fat? Like, could that be it? Because, like,
I know that fat.
Well, not that fat, but mind you, his fight is the lead up with his fight with Devin Haney. He basically took his shirt off any opportunity he could. He unbuttoned his shirt, however, how many fucking times they went to some skyscraper and he had his shirt untucked. So he's the kind of guy that wants to show his abs and his chest or whatever. And then he's at a pool party and he's covered up. I don't know. Maybe he's a little ashamed of how he looks. I don't know. I mean, he's a young cat. It's not like he can build up that much fat, right? I mean, depends on what his eating habits are. But I mean, if this fucker's on something and he's like fidgety and tweaking, I would think he would still be relatively thin, because pretty much what they do is they don't eat. But I don't know. It just seemed kind of strange. I did notice that it's like, you're wearing a fucking sweater, bro. What the fuck is this?
It was really weird. It was just a weird look for him. He definitely looked like he was partying. I won't say on drugs, but he definitely looked like he was partying on substances again. Whether that's drinking or drugs, I don't know. But that whole, I need to find my, what was he saying? Aurora? How do you say it?
It's Aura.
Aura. Damn, why do I always use? I always
That's
add
a
in.
name.
I always add in letters. This is what my wife's gonna say. Why do you always put letters in words? But yeah, no. Did you hear him say that? How he was like, I got to find mine again. I got to find mine again. I think we know what that means, bro. Right? We know what it was when you were in the Haney fight. It was you partying, drinking, acting obnoxious. So, I think Ryan Garcia is going to fall out before he even gets into the ring again. I see him back in a mental hospital.
Oh man, he kind of, he kind of sounds like a chick, honestly. Like, when I hear him talk like that, it's just, when I swear it's always like, oh, I gotta find myself, I'm gonna go on this journey and yada yada. It's like chick talk, right? When I hear him say that, I'm like, the fuck, like, what, dude? Who you hanging out with, man? I don't know, but definitely wasn't Oscar on that fucking line on the other line. Him talking like that, because I don't think Oscar was
these newer boys are soft, man. Look, Miguel, I'm not talking about their fighting skills, but how many of these guys we see wear purses nowadays or paint their fucking nails?
Yeah.
Right? Or have more jewelry than their mothers. Right? I mean, they're soft, bro. They've been softened up to a certain degree, and that's why, my whole vibe, you're messing up my vibe. Ain't no man back in the 90s talk like that.
Oh, geez.
Even when friends got into it, hey, bro, you're killing my vibe. Nah, we'll throw hands and shake after, but ain't no one talking about somebody's vibe.
Yeah. No, it's like, what? You stepping up? You stepping up? We step up and we can step up. But, yeah.
Yeah, no, Miguel, like, dude, bad vibe. Bad vibe, bro. Step back. Fuck out of here, sissies.
Well, you got to mess with my flavor, bro. What the fuck? Okay. Sure thing, buddy. But so according to this, or at least what Ryan says, he's got one more fight left on the deal. Now, from what I hear, of course, right, there are already talks of a possible fight with Rolando Romero, and according to Oscar's not interested. So I don't know what, and I've read that these guys have already started negotiations. I don't know if Oscar greenlit that. I don't think he would have, especially after hearing what he said on Saturday. So I don't know who his next potential fight would be. I'm talking about Ryan, but whomever it is, according to him, according to this quote, it's the last fight of his contract. So chances are he's going to fight one more time before the end of the year, depending on how well his hand is healing or whatever it was that he had surgery, shoulder or whatever. Because I've also remember hearing Oscar talking about his shoulder being a little messed up. But it is August. There's plenty of time to recoup. There's plenty of time for a training camp. So I assume we're going to see Ryan in the ring one more time before the end of the year, and that may very well be his last fight with Oscar De La Hoya. Do you think Oscar's going to let him go like that? Do you think he'll be like, all right, cool, or somehow figure out a way to keep his ass trapped?
Well, Ryan's done with that whole demanding the $20 million because now that gave Golden Boy Promotions the opportunity to put him in a $20 million fight. Why not? You asked for it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So your last fight with us is going to be against Lopez. Right? Fuck him. And hopefully Lopez destroys him. Then you can send him down to the PBC with another loss and just a shattered life. But if I'm Oscar, I'm looking to put him in the hardest fight I can. I'm looking to make every dollar that I can off of him. With him already saying that he's out, he's done, fuck me, fight. How many times he said fuck Oscar De La Hoya, right? And I know he came back the next day. I don't know if you know this, but he came back the next day and went back on the whole one fight deal thing. He did go back on that. No, yeah, because I'm sure Golden Boy Promotions called him and was like, who do you think we're going to put you in the ring with for $20 million?
Yeah.
Right? Fucktard. You know what I mean? Like you're asking, you want to fight the best? Oh, no, I don't want to fight the best. Yeah, then shut your fucking mouth. Go back to social media and take that shit back. Yeah. Right? And then we'll give you another Duarte, give you $5 million. You can have a sparring match. You know what I mean? And then go build your career somewhere else. But without being friends, if I'm Bernard and Oscar, I'm trying to put him in the toughest fight he can. And that's not hard, Ryan. You lost to fucking Rolly Romero, but I would put in the hardest fight that I could find him. Fuck him. He's done enough bullshit to Golden Boy Promotions with his slandering and his antics that he's done towards Oscar. I'd be done with him totally.
Yeah. No, that's a good point. And I know that Oscar is, being the promoter, is going to try to wring everything out of him as he possibly can, right? Try to like milk him as much as he can. But by that same token, that means he's going to have to deal with the headache that is Ryan Garcia. At some point, it's going to be like, all right, this amount of money that he's making me is not fucking worth the damn headache the son of a bitch is putting me through. Let's go let him go and have some other promoter deal with his BS. But that would be a don't let the door hitch on the way out, kind of like one final fight before he's out officially. But no, I didn't. I read that and I was like, oh shit, because I read that and then I also read that he's going to court to try to get out of it. But I'm like, why would you go to court? Just wait out that one more fucking fight that one last fight and call it a day. What's the point of paying all these lawyer fees and paying all these fees to go to court to get out of the contract beforehand when you can just fight one more time and you're gone? But
that goes back to that $20 million comment, bro.
Yeah.
I bet you when they called him and said, all right, well, here's your list of $20 million opponents. He's like, fuck you, I'll take you to court. And then his lawyers called and said, shut up, stupid. You're not doing that either.
Like, who gave you your phone back? Fuck.
Give me your phone back. Yeah, no shit. Hand that over to your mom. Give it to your mom now. Yeah. Ryan.
Yeah. Like, I hear your mom in the background. Just hand her the phone. Don't let him have that. But it definitely is kind of like, who do you think? Like, let's say for the sake of argument, it's not a $20 million fight. It's one of those less, $5 million fights or whatever. I guess ideally, put it on your promoter hat. Who would we throw in there? I mean, if it's not Rolly Romero, if it's not the rematch with Rolly, Who would we toss in there with?
Is he staying at 140 or is he going to 147 is the first question.
As I understand it, he can't even make 140 anymore. So he has no choice but to be at 147 at this point.
Wow. Well, there's only heavy hitters right now at 147. I don't even know who he could take on as a underachiever, to put him on the A side. That would make him $5 million though. The division really only has it's top heavy, I guess you would say, of either you're fighting the champs or you're fighting nobodies. That's a tough one. He's going to be rebuilding maybe a Connor Ben, but did he just sign to fight?
The rematch with Eubank Jr. I think, as I understand it,
So he might not even come back to 147. Ben might be out of this division. That's going to be like almost a year of his body being out of 147. That's going to be very hard for him to get back. So he's probably gone from that division. I don't know. I don't really know who you could put him in. Do you have anybody on the top 10? I don't even have my top 10 up.
Let me see. Mario Barrios.
I mean, that's not going to make him 20 million,
Yeah.
And Barrios, he was in a real good position to unify and really start off his career. I don't know.
The Stanionis dude, throwing some of the like Stanionis, Abel Ramos, who had a draw with Barrios a year ago, I think it was. Those guys seem like winnable fights, I think, no?
Yes, but it's the payday. Stanionis, another fighter, won't make him a lot of money.
Right.
Because they got to look at someone who's going to sell a ticket too. Because if you have to take Ryan Garcia, so they got Liam Paro at the welterweights.
Oh, really? Huh.
Yeah, he's ranked number 4.
As a 147? Oh shit! Did he just?
Yeah, he must have moved up. They've got Jerome Ennis, number 1, Devin Haney, Brian Norman Jr., Liam Paro.
Wow. Well,
so
his name's John Jerron is already going up to 154, which he will be in the story later tonight, by the way.
You can look at, yes, and I understand the Ennis thing. You can look at, there's a Jack Catterall, even though I think he just took a defeat in his last fight, right?
Yes, he did. Shit, who the fuck? Somebody beat him. Yeah. I think I want to say he was. Yeah.
All right. So you can at least try the UK money. At least they would be getting 2 forms of money there. But no, his pickings are really slim at welterweight. There's not a lot of high-powered fights right now at the welterweight division. Not for what Ryan's demanding, and he's not. Unfortunately, I don't even think Ryan Garcia is a ticket seller anymore. Do you really think his next fight he could sell out an arena at top dollar with with what he looked like against Raleigh?
Mm-hmm. No. Damn. He has a lot of fans. He has the social media following. I don't know if he's I don't know if he screwed them over yet to where they were like, man, fuck Ryan. I still think he has somewhat of a following, at least online. So he will fill up an arena. It's sell it out. I don't think so, especially not a top dollar, like you said. But I still think he has the pull to be able to get a decent amount of people in an arena. Not sell it out by no stretch, but I would say he's got a little bit of the pull because of his social media following.
Now, how about this one? And I know he just signed to have a fight. He just signed too. I was gonna say, how about Arnold Barbosa? That dude's got a little bit of a name. He's been in some high profile fights lately. I know he just signed though. Who did he sign with? Barbosa signed to fight.
Well, his most recent fight was the loss to Teofimo, and that was at 140. I don't know if he's going to stay at 140 and move up to 147. But I did notice that I think DAZN that was airing like a couple of short clips of Barbosa. So Barbosa is with Golden Boy, if I'm not mistaken, still with Golden Boy, which is why they're showing those clips of him in his car, his lowrider car, some shit this weekend on the Duarte fight. But he's with Oscar. I mean, I'm sure they can make it happen that way.
Yeah, but he just signed. He's just signed. I think he's out for for the remainder of the year because
you mean he signed for a fight for somebody else?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
shit.
Arnold Barbosa just signed. I just seen it this week. I'm trying to think. It's a double fight. It's a 2-fight thing. Isn't it the PBC and Golden Boy working together? I thought we sent it to each other.
Did we? Let me see. Let me pull it up because usually, if it's not in our
Keith Thurman versus Vergil Ortiz, Barbosa. There you go, Miguel. I gave you another one. And
here we go. All
right, there you go.
Vergil Ortiz. Hold on. I'm pulling up the thing as we speak here. Here we go. Keith Thurman versus Vergil Ortiz and Frank Martin versus Arnold Barbosa are in the works for a date in October. It will be a PBC versus Golden Boy Promotions event if all is finalized. All right. So October. Well, thankfully we got something in there. Fuck shit. I was already here talking mad shit about how there aren't going to be any more fights for the rest of the year. But all right, this is going to be a pretty solid one. And as a matter of fact, Jesus Christ, I responded to this message too. I was like, fucking Thurman, how the hell does Thurman keep getting these fights for Christ's sake? But he's there. Okay. Well, yeah. I mean, that's not bad. It's not bad. That's. I mean, yeah. I guess he's out of the question as far as
he's out of the
opponent.
He's out of the question. But I like how you just said it hasn't been finalized. So once Oscar replays this tonight of our show while he's eating dinner, I'm sure he listens to the show.
Yep.
We'll go ahead and light that fire for the Barbosa Garcia
after he's eating his dinner. Like, all right, put on the show. Put on those guys. Put on those clowns, as we've been called. Put on those clowns. I want to hear what fight I want to sign from you next, because they got the roadmap already planned out. You hear that, Oscar? They got the roadmap planned out for you. And Oscar, by the way, don't ever go back to Chicago, FYI. But that's understandable. I mean, that would be. I mean, we'd have to find somebody else for him if this is the last fight in his contract. Whether it is or isn't, of course, it remains to be seen. But they're not gonna. I would assume they're not gonna give him some Teofimo Lopez type shit. Someone's gonna bust his ass. It's gonna be a lesser guy, right?
Who was that guy that DAZN put in with Berlanga? Remember?
Oh, the hot dog seller guy. Fucking. Oh gosh, yeah.
In prison for 10 years.
Yeah, let's bring him out of here. Let's call Adrian Broner back in there. Adrian, can you still make 147? I don't know if you can do that.
Oh, did you hear Broner's announcement? Thank you for the softball. Did you hear Broner's announcement today?
Which one? The one that he's going to finally dedicate himself to boxing?
There you go. Yes, sir. 3 to 5 years, Miguel.
Yeah. I'll be 43 by then, but I'll be fucking ready, guys.
Next check, maybe. He'll dedicate himself until he gets his next payday.
Mm-hmm. And then it's gone to jewelry or child support or whatever the fuck it is now, and then he'll be back in the same spot that he was before. But I did read that, and when I saw that, I one of my buddies sent it to me, and I sent like a GIF or a GIF, whatever you call it, of that clip of Michael J. Fox in Back to the Future when he's like, I've seen this one. It's a rerun. I've seen it. Like, yeah, I've seen this. We've heard this a hell of times before, right? I'm back. Yeah, I'm sure you are, Adrian. As many times as you said that before, but yeah, I did see that. All right. Well, we did briefly talk about one Vergil Ortiz. That's kind of one of the things I want to talk about. The clip I sent you, and again, we're going to be talking about other stuff, but the clip I sent you of Vergil talking about how he had a sparring session some time ago with Canelo and barely did anything to him. Was able to touch him, but he barely shoved him back to the point where Canelo's like, "All right, yeah, fuck yeah, throw hard punches like that," and he's like, "God damn, that's the hardest I got." So. If that's any indication of the kind of punches that Canelo can eat, I don't know what Crawford can do, but that definitely was a funny clip that I saw online.
Yeah, no, and I mean, when you think about the power of Ortiz too, that kind of humbled him. You can see in his interview there, you know what I mean? Like, I hit this guy with everything that I had, and he barely moved his head or whatever, and then tells him, "Yeah, come on." So, yeah, that's a little freakish of a chin when you have that big of a, yourself as a fighter, right? What is Vergil? Does Vergil still have 100%, or is he at? Did he have one guy make it to the end already?
Madrimov, the Madrimov fight, he went.
It went to the end.
Yeah.
All right. So but his power was,
Sure.
freakish, and for that story to come out that he didn't even move his head, basically, yeah, it's pretty good.
But I caught a couple of things, huh?
We did see Triple G go 3 times with Canelo, though, right? Those are pretty badass dudes.
Yeah. Although that last time, it wasn't the Triple G that we thought it was going to be right at that point. Again, they say that the last thing that a fighter loses is power, so maybe he still had his pop in that third fight, but he had nothing else, no legs, nothing else. So. But this is what I was able to find online from one Vergil Ortiz, who is basically either some sort of rebuttal or answering something that Xander Zayas sent him, because he tagged him on there. It says, first off, congratulations on your win and becoming world champ. You're eventually going to do it, so I'm not surprised. But let's keep everything 100. You got a gift. My last 2 opponents were top 10 in their division. The opponent you just fought was 33-4 and barely scratches the top 15 mark. All facts here. Try and dispute them if you want. If I had won my world title against your opponent, they'd be tearing me to shreds right now. But it's okay. It's okay for you, though, because, you're young. You're not the whole there's not a whole lot expected out of you right now. We're at different levels. My fight against Antonio Orozco, only loss was to world champion back when I was 21, was harder than your last fight. Since you want to talk about what we have done in our ages, other differences, of course, as well. But anyway, he had to shut him down, right? Because Xander Zayas is like, well, I'm a champion, you're not, fool. And we're just like, tone it down, fool. Pump the brakes there. But both guys at 154, that is one of the fights that we definitely want to see, of course. But Vergil seems to have quite his schedule filled, right? We now know he's going to be fighting Keith Thurman in, was it October? Oscar De La Hoya himself on the broadcast on Saturday said that there's a possibility, a very real possibility, that we're going to get Vergil Ortiz and Jaron Ennis in October. Oh, no, sorry, October, Jesus Christ, in 2026. I'm not sure if they mentioned a specific time period or at least a quarter of the year, but I believe it was Eddie Hearn who initially said it, and then that was asked to Oscar De La Hoya, and Oscar was like, hey, that sounds plausible. We can definitely make it happen by 2026. So he's got Thurman and then possibly Ennis early next year. So quite the schedule, huh? I mean, again, I don't know about Thurman. I don't know why the fuck they keep tossing his ass in there and they keep somehow giving him these opportunities, but presumably he's going to get past Thurman and then on to Jaron Ennis. Now, does that mean then Ennis is not going to have two tune-up fights? Is he gonna go directly? Maybe he'll have one. Maybe he'll have one and then go straight to Vergil Ortiz.
Hey, if that happens, I'm so over Jaron Ennis.
Not even one tune-up fight, no.
No. It's time for him to put up or shut up. And really, I mean, look, Ortiz has been around for a while. I mean, I know that the young man caught that, COVID or what was it, the long COVID?
Well, it was something else too. Also, his stomach. I forget what it was, but some serious like intestine issue or something. I forgot what it was, but yeah, it was something serious.
So, I mean, don't knock Xanis for being a champion so young, right?
Right.
Xanis did it. You didn't. You have reasons why you didn't, and facts are facts. Look, I think it's an excellent fight. I can't wait for these two to get in the ring. But now call me 45. I'm just so over the fucking Twitter thing with these pro fighters, man. Can you guys stop with the sparring fucking videotapes that show nothing? Can we stop with the back and forth about wanting to fight each other, then never do? I mean, how many Twitter fucking wars has Gervonta Davis been in? And look at where we're at with him. Garcia, Lopez. Lopez flat out calling people N-words. Nobody wants that business. Nobody, not just to get back. Right? Fuck it. Give me 10 million. I don't need 20. Give me 10. I'll fuck him up for saying that. You don't even want to do that? We're not even at that point.
Talking real quick. I gotta step away real quick.
So it's it's just really freaking like sad where we are with the whole social media and boxing right now. But maybe for the younger guys out there, that's interesting to see guys talk shit to each other back and forth online, but not here. Which I'm over it. Over the sparring. Did you see who was it? Shakur and Lopez put out a sparring of each other?
Yeah.
Absolutely nothing. There's nothing on it. I didn't know who was trying to outpoint, like who was trying to say they had the upper hand in that one. You know what I mean? Or were they just showing they were just doing some clickbait? But waste of time. This is a waste of time. Let's just see Xanis and Vergil. Let's see them work their way to fighting each other. Kind of hard with now. Xanis is at 154. Yeah, he's at 154.
Yes.
So,
he just got himself a belt. One of the belts that Fundora vacated actually to fight Zoo in the rematch.
It's gonna be an excellent fight when it happens. Just I don't need it on social media. I don't want to talk about it for 3 years. You know what I mean? Like, oh, did you hear what happened this time? Like, you guys, come on, man. Could you imagine if Floyd and Manny had social media? And I guess they did, but it wasn't as big as what it was today. Can you imagine if Floyd had it? What would Floyd's social media look like 15 years ago?
His grammar is horrendous, so I'm sure he had somebody, write the shits for him. I would have to assume.
Can you imagine what his lives would have looked like? Oh, yeah. No. Would have been all over the place.
And even like him and Manny would have probably been all over the fucking place too. It's like, sometimes what it is that he lost the Nike deal because of his of some comments that he made, right? Yeah. You don't think on one drunk night he'd be like, oh fuck it, like Oscar,
Yep.
I'm sure he'll toss a couple of those in there. I guess not really looking forward to Vergil Ortiz and Keith Thurman then, as they're going to be, the main event on this card.
It seems like Ortiz has been in a lot of these fights himself. When you look at his record, because of the injuries that he's sustained to his career and all the comebacks that he's had to endure, this is just another Ortiz fight. Keith Thurman does nothing for his career, his legacy. It's just a win on his resume, makes him look a little bit better on that side. But any boxing historian or big time fan is going to know that, what kind of opponent Keith Thurman was at this particular time for Vergil.
Yeah. It's just a former champion from a different weight class and a name. That's one of the things that a lot of these young cats, do. I mean, that's just how it is, right? You'll have some recognizable names on your record. That's just how it is, right? I mean, yeah, people will know who Madrimov is. Some people know, but they know who Keith Thurman is a lot more than Madrimov. So having one of those guys on your records, I guess, is really commonplace in the sport. Make sure to get one of those guys on your record somewhere. How likely do you think it is that we are going to get Ennis and Vergil by 2026? I think that's what they said on the broadcast. Sometime, probably the first half of 2026. Do you think, especially after all the shit that we've heard from Jaron Ennis about having the tune-up fights, do you think we'll get that? Do you think we'll get that fight at least the first half of 2026?
I don't think Ennis is going to have an option here soon. It looked like he was already getting Turkey Ali Sheik fed up with his bullshit. Right? Didn't Turkey even put out something like, I've never seen how did he put it? I forgot how he put it, but I could have swore he's already thrown a dig at Ennis about rejecting all his fights that he was trying to get him. Right? He said something about, I've never seen a guy at his age need so many warm-up fights. So I really think he's running out of options with everybody now kind of, at least in the 154 division, 147, switching over to Riyadh season and signing with His Excellency. Eddie Hearn's not going to have any options but to go to try to work a fight with them. I mean, hell, we've even seen PBC is fighting in Riyadh season now, and we've had some top rank guys head over to Riyadh. So he's not going to have a lot of options here, Ennis, as I'm talking about. I think if he wants to play ball, he's going to have to play with the big boys.
All right, fair enough. Thank you for yet another softball. That's where you can read my mind. In regards to Riyadh season and Eddie Hearn. It has been mentioned and said online, at least, that there's a very real possibility that we're going to get Anthony Joshua and Jake Paul. According to what Eddie Hearn said, or is quoted as saying regarding this, he says, this is very real. So, I mean, there was a possibility of the fight actually taking place. He says, I had a good chat for about an hour with Nakisa, and this guy being Nakisa, let's see if I can pronounce his last name right, Badarian, who is the co-founder of MVP, or Jake Paul's promotion. He had an hour conversation with him last week, and now I believe that they want the fight. They actually legitimately want him. I really do. If I had to rate the chance, I would say it's 50-50. If they really wanted, it will happen. Considering what we just said about Eddie and saying, well, he doesn't have much of a choice. Not going to have too many choices with Jaron Ennis. I guess this is just one of the few choices he has left as far as Anthony Joshua goes, right? You talked about it last week. Maybe it was some sort of loophole that Anthony Joshua can utilize to retire and then have some sort of exhibition fight, because chances are no athletic commission would sanction this kind of fight and have a legitimate record, or be legitimate on their records. So maybe this is just some sort of loophole that AJ is trying to pull here. But if that's the case, well, it sounds like Eddie Hearn is on board. It looks like we might actually get this fight. Now, as far as when the fight happens, of course, that's even further in the future, because there hasn't been any talks about that yet. But damn, it seems like every week I read that this is more and more a real possibility. I don't know if it's going to be Adrian Broner yet next, or if it's going to be Anthony Joshua next, but it seems like Jake Paul's next two opponents probably already chosen, huh?
Yeah, I mean, look, the Anthony Joshua fight makes sense for Jake Paul when you think about, how many times Jake Paul has watched Anthony Joshua get knocked out and just says, I can do that, right? You don't think they've watched those tapes, seen Andy Ruiz land that left hook out of nowhere? Who is it that Dubois land the right hand out of nowhere? And how do you say this? We know they're skilled, but in the casual person, right? Andy Ruiz did not look like a professional fighter. He did not look like he was supposed to be Anthony Joshua that night. And Dubois kind of doesn't look like a guy. Yeah, he's got muscle, but I mean, Dubois just looks kind of clumsy, just there kind of guy. So I think Jake Paul watched those fights and seen the use, obviously U6 on a place of his own, but still has seen Joshua weak enough times to think that he can do the same thing to him. Now, he's absolutely wrong. Don't get it twisted. He's going to get his fucking jaw jacked.
Yeah,
but,
disclaimer, everybody. He's totally fucking wrong. Trust me.
Yeah, no, he's going to get it. He's going to get the business, but he's going to make a lot of money. This fight is going to break a lot of records over there in England. I believe the fight will happen in England because Anthony Joshua sells at a bigger ticket price than Jake Paul does here in America, and he can put 80,000 over there. And I believe me when I tell you this, 80,000 people will show up to watch Joshua Jake Paul. They are going to sell out. Is it Wembley? What's the big one over there
Yeah, Wembley Stadium.
Wembley, is that the 80,000 one? Whatever is the big stadium, put it there. They're going to sell it out. That's just how it is. Jake Paul's American. Jake Paul's hot. He's young. And he's very beatable. And them guys love seeing us go down. So I think this will be the final feather in the hat for for Anthony Joshua's fans. They got to see him come to the top and beat Klitschko. They got to see him take on Ngannou after Ngannou had a good showing versus Tyson Fury. Fucking absolutely collapsed him. And now he's going to take on the big, bad American bad boy, right? Even though he's not bad at all, but you know what I'm saying. Yeah. America's bad boy YouTube guy.
Yes. Bad as in terrible.
Yeah, the softest bad boy we have.
Right. Has an underbelly.
I believe they have pictures of his nails being painted, Miguel.
So, oh Lord, really?
I'm just telling you, bro. Purses and nail polish, bro, is what the boys are into.
these days, right? All right. So last week we were talking about a couple of things going on in the sport, and one thing in particular, the kind of limbo that one Top Rank has found themselves in. Their last card was on ESPN Plus a few weeks back. I believe it was the 26th of July, and as of right now, they don't have a platform. That was their last fight on the contract with ESPN. So as of right now, we have yet to hear any other possibilities or any other streaming services that are going to take them on. All we know from what we've heard is that they are actively searching. So they're there. I was a little concerned. I thought this might have been the very end of Top Rank. That was what I was thinking. I was like, it doesn't do them any good to have all this young talent here if they can't showcase them anywhere in particular. Andrew made sure to shut that shit down. Like, no, bro, they're going to be around. Don't worry about it. They'll find a way. Well, lo and behold, what happens pops up in my email and on my Instagram feed. September 6th, former world champion Oscar Valdez faces Ricky El Castigo Medina in Mexico, or Mexican homeland, at Domo Binacional in Nogales, Mexico. So Top Rank is going to have a Top Rank card September 6th, headlined by one of their former Mexican stars. And I say former stars because, of course, he's on the downside at this point. But Oscar Valdez, former champion, I think weight division champion. So Top Rank marches on. Now, as of right now, from what I can tell here, I'm looking at the fight poster. I can't quite tell. Maybe I have to zoom in, but I don't see any streaming services or channels or anything on the gazillion sponsors on the fight poster, right? So it's going to happen somewhere, right? I mean, I know where it's going to happen, but I assume they're going to air it somehow. I don't know how. I don't think they would be announcing this kind of fight in September, a month away, without them having some sort of plan on where they're going to be airing this. But it's most certainly a good sign, right? They're still announcing fights. As I mentioned a few weeks back when I went to the Top Rank website and I went to take a look at their fight calendar, they had nothing else planned, right? Nothing else besides this last July 26th card. Now they do. Now they have Oscar Valdez here. So it's a good sign. Maybe it's a little too soon to celebrate because we don't know where it's going to be at or as far as airing goes. But this is a good sign, huh, Andrew? It seems like they're still marching on. Granted, maybe one fight card at a time, but they're still here.
Yeah, what I was trying to look up is it going to be on toprank.com?
Oh, geez.
Are they gonna do the Don King Avenue and just open up their own thing? Look, there's a lot of platforms out there. Hopefully they're in deep conversation with one, because the thing kind of has to happen fast here with the fights already being lined up. But yeah, I mean, the only other thing I could think of is they're gonna stream it on their own website or their own YouTube page, Facebook page, stuff like that. Maybe to get a viewership number, then take that over to a platform and go, hey, look, on this little ass platform, we were able to make this noise. What would you have done with you guys? But that's about all I got. As far as Valdez, yeah, he's on the way down. This is kind of like I don't want to say that. Isn't that where he was born?
Oh, I don't know. I know he was born in Mexico. I don't know because Nogales is like a border town, because it's right below Arizona, because there's actually a town in Arizona called Nogales as well. So I'm not entirely sure, but maybe.
I think that is, bro.
So it's like a farewell tour, basically.
I think so. That could very well be. If he doesn't perform good, that's his last fight. It's gonna be. It's a full circle moment right there. Yeah.
Damn. Well, a lot of Top Rank news coming out here. That one being one of them. For those of you who didn't see a few weeks, I think last month, there was an incident outside of the ring that involved one Keyshawn Davis and his brothers, where they're basically getting in fights with his brother's opponent. This was a melee that took place in the locker rooms, etc. So Keyshawn Davis took to social media to offer an apology for what he did and played whatever role he played in that. He apologizes. He goes to say, this is quote, "I apologize for anybody that I hurt. I was wrong. When I get back to boxing, just know I'll be a better Keyshawn." So I've heard a couple of his interviews. I don't know. He talks about retirement. He talks about taking a break. He kind of talks about left and right. This is what he's saying here. Mental health is real. Y'all saw me at the world champion status when I was saying that, and now y'all see me at my lowest saying the same thing. Check on your brothers, your sisters, have real conversations. You don't know what people are thinking for real.
Now, remember what I said earlier, bro?
About them being soft?
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard to argue with what you just said, Andrew. You want to have sympathy for these people. You want to be able to not relate, but empathize and kind of, take what they say at face value and take it seriously, right? But it just seems like a card that gets pulled pretty regularly, and it's like, why?
Whenever times get tough, Miguel, maybe?
Yeah. Whenever, there's a lot of pressure on them for whatever the fuck reason, whenever they find themselves at some sort of legal battle or something, magically it becomes a mental health issue. And then now everybody's like, oh shit, gotta take this shit seriously. I don't know. Like, again, maybe he's telling the truth. Maybe for all I know, he's telling the truth. But again, it's just one of those cards that get pulled so fucking frequently that at some point, we're like, are these guys crying wolf or what the fuck? Because when we take it seriously, this shit happens. And, we end up finding out later that it most likely wasn't that. It was just a bad trip on some shrooms or whatever the fuck they were feeling at that moment when they were tweeting these things out. But I don't know. What do you make of this, Andrew? How seriously can we take what Keyshawn says here?
I'm hoping not serious. Man, Keyshawn was on the rise. He was a guy that
technically, I mean, no?
Not if you're taking breaks. Is he even a world champion yet?
He is, but he lost it on the scale in his next fight.
That's right.
Very brief.
Right. That's right. Yeah, no, dude. A little too early in the career to be pulling breaks and I'm retiring and you're not going to get a pay raise. Nobody's going to demand Keyshawn Davis come back, right? You're just going to get forgotten about, and then you're going to regret it the rest of your life because you're leaving a lot of – dude, not only leaving a lot of money on the table, the lightweights are becoming a hot division.
Yeah.
How could this not interest you as a prize fighter when you have so many avenues for money in your division? It's just I hope
and neighboring divisions too.
Yes. No, of course, bro. No, it's amazing and it's sad. I mean, look, I guess as a father who puts their kids, whoever parents have kids in boxing, really need to start looking at the downside of not just CTE or brain damage. What about depression now? Man, it sure looks like it runs rampant in this sport. Almost everybody that's been away for a few months comes back with the depression card, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is there a link between the head damage, the head punching, or is this a card that they're just using because it's one of those slip and fall school ones? You can't really question it. Can't tell if it's right or wrong. So I don't know. But soon it will be alarming. If we still had journalists out there, I don't think we do, but somebody would want to pull up those numbers about how many fighters in recent years have said they're depressed. I mean, when you just look at the top 10s, I'm not saying the whole landscape of boxing. Just look at your top 10 fighters and how many of these guys talk about, I almost committed suicide. Then I bought this $18 million watch.
Yeah. Yeah. No, yeah.
And I tell you my Bentley.
And the age group, because it seems like a lot of these guys are younger cats. We've seen it in Teofimo Lopez. We've seen it in the Charlos even when they're younger. So it's like it seems to be a card that gets pulled regularly until the direct deposit hits, and I was like, all right, cool. I just got myself a Rolls Royce. Now I'm fine.
Yeah, they're back on social media. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, like I found myself again, guys. I went through a dark time there where I couldn't get McDonald's when I wanted on cue. Now I have money again, so I can go do that. Yeah,
I guess depression is with a lot of us that are broke. Then
is that what it is? Oh,
yeah, that's what it is.
Goddamn,
being fucking broke.
I've been depressed my whole life, man. What's going on? According to that, jeez, like I must have not realized I'm gonna have to pull that card.
I'm gonna fucking call in to work tomorrow. Not coming in. A little depressed.
Yeah, I'm gonna phone in the show next week and be like, Andrew, no, dude, I was just, I didn't get the tan that I wanted when I was in Rosarito last weekend, and I got these nasty tan lines. I'm just going through a dark time right now. Okay, please give me another week, and I'll be right back. Good Lord, people, Jesus. But on the topic of one Teofimo, he was called out this last couple of days here. 140-pound IBF champ Richardson Hitchins went to social media, your favorite, Andrew, and called some people out here. It says, I want Teofimo Lopez after that, I want Devin Haney. Easy work. And then he's, oh God, these people, stop, guys. And then he decides to describe what he's doing, drops the fucking mic, send the contract. So he adds a little bit of, you can paint a picture with what he's saying. He's like, Teofimo, Haney, and then drops the mic, right? That's according to this says. But he says, send the contract. Now, mind you, he's at 140 pounds, right? So is Teofimo. Devin is already at 145, 147, or whatever you want to call it. So if he wants Devin, he's going to have to most likely move up because Devin ain't coming back down. Obviously, the one that makes more sense, a guy in your weight class, Teofimo, I'd be down for that one. I know they've been mouthing off to one another for quite some time, so I'm down with that one. But he took to social media to call both these guys out. Hitchins, he's a real deal. I'm not going to say he isn't, but is he ready for somebody like Teofimo? Have Devin, well, we've been calling him a bitch for the last couple of years already at this point, but maybe he can get at Devin. But I don't know if he can get past Teofimo. I don't know, honestly. That's a good one. But what do you make of this? What do you make of him wanting all the smoke, according to this Instagram post here?
Hitchins is a young champ. He had a good coming out party the other day. Got the hiccups out of nowhere. I wouldn't be mad about this fight, especially because Lopez, he's been trying, man. Lopez been out, like I said, he's been even using racial slurs to try to get fights. It's just not working. And believe me, Lopez, don't flatter yourself. It has nothing to do with your skill. You're very skilled. Don't get it wrong, but it has more to do with your lack of ticket sales than anything else of why you're not getting these fights. So Hitchins is a good fight. That's a good fight for both guys. It's a good fight for the 140 division for us diehards. I like it all the way around. It's better than seeing Lopez keep on doing these B contenders, and we keep calling him an A fighter. And he just hasn't been able to prove it as of lately. So no, I like it if they go in with that fight. That's an excellent fight.
Yeah, that I don't know why that seems to be like. Look, I'll give Teofimo his flowers, right? He beat the guys who mattered. He beat the Lomachenkos. He beat the Josh Taylors, the guys who were the man of that weight class. But then after that, he loses to Cambosos, and then he goes on this win streak at 140 against guys like Sandor Martin or whatever the fuck. It's like this is now. Don't get me wrong, Barbosa, that was a good one. All right, cool. I was looking forward to Barbosa. He got it done. Cool. But then turning down fights left and right here, that doesn't help matters. He needs to continue to do that. One fight over a guy like that gets you in the right direction, but doesn't get you there quite yet. You're on the way there. You can't be having these B opponents, especially when you're the champ. I know people do it. They're going to call Chavez out. They're going to call Canelo out. I get it because they do fight B opponents on the occasion. It just seems like more frequently with Teofimo. So this would be awesome. I'd be down with this. Not only is he fighting under the champion and unifying the titles, but Hitchins, I think, is the real deal. That would be a legitimate fight. I don't know if Hitchins will get the job done against somebody like Teofimo. I do think Teofimo will take that one, but regardless, it's the perception. It's like, oh shit, Hitchins is a bad motherfucker. He's got his belt, and Teofimo says, I'll take his ass and he beats him. That would be something, I would say, for Teofimo. But let's say, for the sake of argument, according to Hitchins' plan here, he gets past Teofimo and he wants Devin afterwards. I don't know. That means he's going to have to move up, mind you. Whether or not he's ready to do that yet, I don't know. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe, unfortunately, is maybe the perception that we have of Devin Haney, calling him a bitch left and right here. Maybe that's just what he is now, and everybody seems to be calling him out because of that. They're like, fuck it, Alexander Usyk is going to call him out next because he's like, fuck it, we're all jumping on the bandwagon of calling his ass out. Is that what it is? Does he really want somebody like Devin, or is he just like, well, fuck it, everybody else is doing this, so I'll call him out too?
No, I actually thought there was something behind the personal going on with Hitchins and Devin Haney. Maybe they had some kind of interaction during the amateur days or something where this is falling over into the pro ranks, because he did seem a little bit confident when he was calling him out about beating him. So, and even with Lopez, didn't he keep saying, Lopez, you're hella small? Wasn't that what Hitchins kept telling to Lopez?
Did he? I don't remember.
Yeah, when he called him out, he kept like throwing the reference like he knew something. You know what I mean? He's like, you can't hurt me. He's too small. He's too small. Like he might already sparred that man and knows that his power isn't there. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these guys, these Americans, have sparred in the nationals and they going to the Olympic tryouts, all that stuff. Sparring just on a, growing up together, sparring. So some of these guys do know each other. You know what I mean? Isn't there an old tape of, excuse me, if I had something to drink, where's my bell? Ding, ding, ding.
Yeah.
I would get in trouble for that one. Watch this. Come and throw the coffee on me.
Get off your lazy ass. No, I'm kidding. Get Trans in here. 2 sugars. God damn it. No, I'm kidding.
I'm just playing. But what was I gonna say? So yeah, no, some of these guys know each other from outside of the ring, and seems like you see a little bit of that vibe from Hitchins and Norman Jr. too. Norman Jr. is the one that he's coming with a lot of confidence, like he already knows something, on Devin Haney. Don't know if Devin Haney's gonna get past Norman Jr. So might not want to count that fight too fast here, Hitchins, because he's already lined up to take on a world beater, or a guy at least look good in his first coming out party.
Yeah, I agree. He seemed very confident. It definitely sounds like there's something that we don't know with the amount of confidence that Hitchins, went to social media with. So we might have to do some digging and see if there's some sort of past or some sort of history or some sort of maybe beef they had at one point or something like that we might not know about, but eventually will come out later. But
Miguel. You remember, and this is what I wanted to tell you when you were talking about the beef again. You remember all the boxing magazines we used to have? KO magazine, Ring magazine. Yeah. Do you remember the journalists ever going back and forth with fighters the way Twitter is allowing these guys to go back and forth? They had to put out a magazine every month, you guys, every single month. Yet they were able to find stories to give us, deliver us news. Not, I want to fight this guy and I'm going to fight that guy. How about me and you fight? Like, this is all the news we're delivering, is a bunch of guys on social media fucking calling each other out, but we haven't seen shit. Like Lopez, you know what I mean? How many names have we attached this man to, and he ain't done shit? Yeah. It just sucks. I just thought about that. I was like, man, boxing used to have so many other, one time there was a story about Chavez Sr., about him growing up, and that how he, one of his toughest moments was, I believe he was in the same room with the relative that passed away.
Oh, shit.
Just a story that Chavez told someone. The guy made a story out of it, wrote it. You know what I'm saying? Like, where's that? We don't have that anymore. We're so quick to get the easiest news nowadays because of social media. And this whole freaking calling out thing seems to be the new easy, lowest fruit on the tree or whatever. Like, oh, did you see these two are gonna fight? And these guys go viral. They put their name out there. They attach some other names out there, and they have 1 million people look at it. It just sucks. I hope some of these fights get made. Like I said, we talked a lot about the lightweight division for nothing to happen.
Oh yeah, no doubt. And there was a lot of talk. It's not just us talking about it; it was the fighters themselves. So they definitely gave us the impression that they were going to throw down themselves, and then ultimately it didn't happen. So it wasn't just we were talking necessarily because we'll do that. Media will do that. Sometimes it's something small, and this is all we need is a little spark, and then we make it into a bigger story. I get that, but that one was legitimate. We were calling them the new Four Kings and everything. We went that far. So it was it wasn't just us trying to make up that fucking story. It was the fighters themselves making it sound like they want to fight one another, and we're like, oh shit, this is great for us. This is a great soundbite for us, and then it doesn't happen. So yeah, no, I hear you. That's um with the way of social media, it's a different world now. It's a different environment. These guys don't have to wait for the next issue of whatever to come out next and everything. So it's understandable that this is the direct. They have to market themselves, right? That's pretty much what they have to do at this point. And if it means going at it through Twitter or Instagram or whatever with somebody that you want to fight at some point, then that's what's going to have to happen. But it's not good for us because it's all blue balls, man. It's the fights end up not happening. We're like, fuck, these guys talk so much shit to one another. You would swear these guys want to rip each other's throats out, and then nothing ends up happening between them because the money wasn't right or whatever. Teofimo, like, oh, I don't want to do it in Las Vegas.
I know, right? Yeah, exactly. Oh, I'm going to lose there. Like, what?
Oh, Teofimo. Well, that pretty much does it, guys. There was a lot of news kind of in and out here, not too much as far as boxing. Yes, there was some boxing on Saturday. There probably won't be any good boxing until I think later the 16th. I think Nick Ball is going to be on DAZN. So definitely something to work. And it's early in the morning for that one, by the way, because it is going to be from the UK, if I'm not mistaken. But that pretty much does it, y'all. This is,
I got one more. Before you close it out. Did you see Devin Haney's response to Brian Norman? Now here I'm talking about beef. Now I'm going to talk about a dad beef.
You're going to instigate it. You're going to spread it.
Oh, I have lost so much respect for Bill Haney lately. I believe it was Brian Norman that brought up his drug past. You didn't see this?
Oh, yes. Shit. Let me go ahead and talk about it.
And then Bill Haney responds with himself like, I wasn't a drug user. I'm a drug dealer. No, you're like, yeah, bro.
Get it straight.
Yeah, you fucking moron. Like, one, you weren't a kingpin if you have to tell people you were a kingpin.
Oh, I found it. Fuck
there you go. Yes.
All right. So Teofimo Lopez says, it's Teofimo Lopez. He says, whatever, I guess he's like naming off rules. And he says, number 4, never get high on your own supply or on your own, right? And then Bill Haney decides to respond to this saying, big bank take, little bank crybaby. All right. You heard wrong. I was the dealer, not the user. Let's go dollar for dollar. All right. And then Gervonta says, I got an 8-ball of Coke. Are you copping or not? Fuck out of my face.
I'm sorry I did this, you guys.
It's all right. It's all right. But, it's not bad enough that we're going to talk about these guys' tweets. But it's even worse when they can't type out full sentences, and it's like I'm trying to patch it up here to try to get the point across. But yes, Bill Haney puts this photo of him, of Photoshop, what appears to be him sneezing coke out of his nostrils, and he's got this like wide, like Oscar face, basically. But I don't know, maybe it was some sort of rebuttal saying like, "Hey, bro, I wasn't the one, I was the dealer. I wasn't the one fucking consuming the fucking thing." So
can you imagine if that was
some sort of, huh?
Can you imagine if that was your dad, bro, on social media talking like that? You're over here trying to make yourself a $1 million brand. You're over here trying to, go into the commercial world of America, get some sponsorship. And here's your dad talking about being a drug dealer and a pimp. We've even heard him bring up his pimp past and all this bullshit. Like, fucking loser. Bill, let me tell you, man, nobody knew you. When you said you were some music producer, nobody knew that shit either. I will give him the Mayweathers kind of talk high about him. Like I've heard Mayweather's father and Mayweather himself. But over here in the Bay Area, I ain't never heard. I'm from the motherfucking Bay. I've listened to a lot of music out here. I ain't never heard anyone give any props to fucking Bill fucking Haney at all. I haven't seen you in no videos. I haven't seen you in the background of any big star who's receiving some award on a BET platform or on an MTV award. Where's Bill at? He had all these connections in the music world. Do you remember when Devin first came out? He was supposed to be some music producer from Oakland, California. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe he was going under some alias or something. It's like,
yeah.
I
had my cousin called me one time. He's from Oakland. He's like, man, who is this guy? I never heard of Bill Haney before in my life. I was like, yeah, I remember that back in the day. And now he's a drug dealer. So he's went from, hey, this guy's had a crazy life. Rap mogul producer to fucking pimp to now a drug dealer.
Yeah, and now a promoter of his, a manager of his son's boxing career.
Yeah, I know. And then Big Bank take Little Bank. Fool, you do not make.
It's like Big Bank tank Little Bank crybaby. So I guess he's saying like that's I don't get that.
You match your money, bro. You're matching your money. What Big Bank take Little Bank? That used to be something you would do at a house, right? When someone's talking shit, you go, "Oh, you got money? How much money you got? Let's go. Big Bank take Little Bank right now. Throw it on the table." And then motherfucker shuts up, right? Because someone brings out the cash and you're supposed to give up your money. If you do not have it, you give it up. So that's what that is right there. But it's stupid, childish. This is, you know what I mean? Not what Bill Haney's supposed to be talking about. I just lost a lot of respect. I thought the guy was like a cool dad, was getting his son all this money and all that, but he has turned out to be a total douchebag, man. Seriously. Could you imagine the stories you have to hear of this fucking phony? Yeah, you know, we're not selling my big ass dope. Shut up, you weren't selling shit. Shut the fuck up.
and I quit that career to, raise my son and put him in the boxing career. Yeah. Like, sure you did.
Yeah. Like I said, don't no one have to say it. If you were that guy, everyone knows you were that guy. You don't have to say it.
I got a quick story for you. So for those of you who may remember, I drove to Arizona to watch Navarrete and Valdez, the rematch. I think the rematch, the first one, I forgot. I'm not sure. I'm already forgetting, but now it's the rematch. It was the first one. So anyway, point is, I went and some two Mexican dudes, right, were just mouthing off like a motherfucker in front of me, right? One fat dude over here had some sort of WBC shirt, some other dude over here, right? And I'm watching the fight, and it was one of those, I witnessed it. With my own eyes, the Big Bank take Little Bank shit, right? Some dude says, hey, I got Navarrete, right? And he's like $300 or 3 or 5, one of the two, 3 or 5. I think it was 3. And some other guy's like, yeah, fuck yeah. It's like, hey, pull the money out right now, 300, right? In Spanish, mind you, they're having this conversation in Spanish. And the guy pulls out 300 fucking bones for Valdez, and I'm like, oh no, don't do it, but whatever. He loses, and the motherfucker forks up the cash, right? It was a bet, but I was like, oh, this fucker, and this dude pulled out some fucking cash, and it's like, whoa. I just witnessed what you just explained to me in Spanish by these two macho Mexican dudes, but. Anyway,
yes, sir.
It took place in Arizona. All right. Well, that does it for us today on this magnificent Wednesday evening. We will be back Sunday. Most likely some other news pops up because there ain't really many fights to talk about. I'm sure there's going to be some news. And even if we don't have to do a full-on 2-hour show like we normally do on Sundays, fuck it. We're going to give you guys something, of course, because that's what we do. That's what we're here for. So, for my co-host, Andrew, don't get it twisted, Lapiche, I am Miguel Antonio Barragan, a.k.a. Fight Fiend Migs, and this has been the Mad Boxing Show. Thank you for joining us. Enjoy the rest of your week. Take care and peace.